Alright, welcome back. So with us we have Camon 19 with a charging problem. But then when you visually look into it, I don't know whether you shall be able to see because I don't think the thing does macro shots. So yeah, let me just draw it a little higher. Let's see if I can show you that. And then crank up the ISO. Okay, still I don't think you'll be able to see, but the internal part that allows the USB to deliver power is shattered, and therefore this is a charging system replacement, or rather a charging port replacement. Anyway, oh sorry, I thought I was speaking into the mic. Pardon if I sounded distant, but alright, this is a Camon 17 and we are doing a charging system replacement. So first things first, we have to take it apart, and by that we need to begin by removing the SIM card tray, which should help us to go in. I do not have my SIM card ejection tool, so I am going to go the crude way by picking it out like that, and that gets out. Help me hold on to this. Whenever I keep them around me, they choose to. Alright, and now my hope is that okay, this back doesn't require me ungluing anything, so we're simply going to pry it apart. Usually you begin from where you remove the SIM card because that's the weakest area, and therefore it's easy for it to deflect and you be able to insert in the surgical blade. Then we go around nudging it throughout till the back. Now I have noticed that Tecnos are relatively easy to nudge. I found some schemes to be rather extremely difficult, that at some point you doubt whether you're doing the right thing, but yet it is the right thing that you're doing. Now this point, because there's glue surrounding the edges and also the fingerprint, tends to be much harder to pry apart, because as you're prying, the adhesive keeps it locked down, which also may make you think you're doing the wrong thing. But fear not, you're on the right course. Just watch with me, and if you're new here, be certain to hit the like button. At most, hit the subscribe and keep watching, because every day is a new day. There is something to learn. Now I think I'm going to push down the fingerprint. I don't want it to come with the back cover, in the fear that we may rip the fiber that connects it down. Oh, okay. So I think this plate also comes along with the back. For some reason I felt it should stay down, and that's that. So let's see what's underneath. Okay, just a piece of adhesive right here holding it, and just like that, this is how you open to see the internals. The next stage, if you should access the main motherboard, you would have to remove those screws. For now, I don't think there's need of, but assuming you had to replace the screen, definitely this would have to come off. But I'm interested in the lower subboard, which is usually also called the daughter board, and that's what holds the charging port. Now we get to opening, so we could access the charging port, and just do that by removing these lower screws. All right, okay. And under normal circumstances, if you have done this over and over, it should become a job that shouldn't exceed 20 minutes. That's if you have all the parts required for the task at hand. Anyway, yeah, welcome back here. The hope is that you should be able to learn some repair here, or at least be guided when you do take your phone for repair. Right, so we pick that off and this comes off, and we are interested in this So disconnect the fiber that brings signal to and takes it from the lower subboard. Okay, disconnect that. And then occasionally this tends to be glued down, so let's see about that. Alright, this comes off. Lucky for us, it was barely glued down with only this and that to sort of behave like glues. Now we pick this off, and then we need to remove that port. Now I think at this point let me rather zoom in to help you with seeing how the process is done. I'm going to have to use my reflow station for the next stage to removing the charging port. Alright, thank you. Let me get it plugged in. Alright, so I'm going to set it at a temperature of about 330 degrees, and then the airflow at 5, and then hit the power button and look for my tweezers. They help you hold as you pick off the pot. Alright, I think that's substantial heat. So we are going to do this for about 2 minutes while we attempt to lift it, and that should go off. Now I've seen circumstances or examples where people have done this and this whole place is black. Now that shouldn't happen, but you just need to understand how to do it, and just like that you're out, because the person that makes this place darken is using extreme temperatures and doesn't know how to pick the pot, so they end up probably butchering your entire lower subboard, because remember it holds the network antennas and you don't want to put it at high temperatures because you may have those drop off, or you melting the earpiece pot, which will not be too nice for the client. Now I need my donor pots. Where did I put them? That's the question. Do you see any transparent box around behind that sheet, that curtain? Yes, thank you. So let me get our replacement pot such that we are ready to go. Okay, so okay, I need to buy some more of this. I have noticed I'm running out of them. Alright, this is much higher, so it's not this one, and then this looks close. Yes, this will do. Okay, just a confirmation of dimensions. Alright, so okay, I need to buy a lot of this because this is one of the common repair types of pots. Now the next thing is I am going to apply flux there to allow with my workability. So right there. Oh, but before that, I think let me unblock those two ports, two holes that anchor the charging port itself. I'm going to just blow. I don't have my suction tool. Okay, and I have a nice clean opening right there for me to mount my charging port in. I'm going to have to also unblock that right there. Sorry, and we have that open. So we'll bring this into there, and then the rule of thumb is to begin with the contacts that conduct power, and then the anchor points later on. Okay, I need to place it right, well aligned. and then pass my soldering gun at the tip. Okay, let me first clear this opening well. Okay, and we are there. Add more flux there. This simplifies your soldering. If you don't, soldering will look pretty hard. Let me also increase the temperature of my soldering tip, because I notice this part is seeming to beg for more heat. Okay, swab to and fro on that terminal, then to and fro on that terminal. Those extreme two are power lines. Having secured the first two, the next is to deal with the intermediate ones. Anyway, I'm going to give it some support from under, such that when I'm doing my task it is much easier. Yeah, pardon me, I be looking at what I'm doing, and therefore at times I get off frame, but yeah, thankfully I occasionally look back to realize that I have gone off frame. So we are on the intermediate ones. So the intermediate ones are data line and OTG enable. Having done that, I need to put solder on the anchor terminals, and let me get my soldering wire ready. Alright, so that and that. Now we did a video on soldering, and you know how we said you go about it and the reasoning behind it. So when I'm doing things easily like that, just remember that little bit of theory that I gave you right there, along with our apprentice Nathan. So now I tend to reinforce the back here just to give this extra strength, because at times you need to prolong the life of the pot itself. Because I'm going to narrow that down right there, and then apply solder on the top of it to be like reinforcement. Okay, and right there, get this well aligned, and then scratch for it to be able to receive solder. We are into 13 minutes, which is not very bad for this operation. You should always learn to time yourself, then it becomes quite easy for you to estimate for the client the time when to receive their device. Because at times if you don't know that, you may tell them, oh, give me 30 minutes, give me 5 minutes, only to turn out to be a liar, which I believe is forgivable, but then it's not nice. Now, of course, I know of repairs that you can give an estimate of time, and you'd end up realizing that it is more complicated than you had hoped. That's a different case altogether. Now I'm going to add some more reinforcement to the conductive terminals now that I have already anchored it. Okay, right there. And this last one. These last two, I am a little generous on them with solder, seeing that they are power rails. Alright, so these two terminals want to join, but we will manage them. So what you do is just clean the tip of solder, and then bring some little flux right there. So naturally, when I put my soldering gun on this, the tip of my solder being empty or solder will draw away some solder with it. That's how you separate two connected terminals. Okay, I believe we're done with this. Now we close and test. Right. So for now, I am going to just plug it in temporarily. Let me zoom out and then test and then close. Did it have some little power? Nothing. Since when?
Since yesterday.
Okay, I just hope the voltage is at the level where we can detect the battery, because the times when it's below we need to also jump start the battery. All right, so now we are going to plug in the charger and see what our work has yielded for now. It's just a walkthrough checking before you go further. There's no doubt saying that at times you're optimistic that you've moved on smoothly, and you find that there was an oversight. So we get our Thunderbolt icon. Let's wait for the percentage. That's okay, that's 0%. So we are good. Hit the subscribe button and feel free to keep coming back. Let's get this closed up and get the client going. I'm quite happy to have had all of you here following along with me as I got this phone to work. Now, all right, let me not forget to put the rubber cushioning back onto our charging port, and that's to dampen the bending force, which is a brilliant implementation right there. I am seeing that trend with all smartphones, so yeah, it's wisdom. So it is done with the aim of prolonging the lifespan of your phone. Now to plug in this coaxial cable, it seems to rather prefer to dangle around. Right there, it is in. Then we bring our lower plate back into play. However, is our cable getting in the way? Okay. Okay. Alright, I notice what the issue is. Should go right behind that, not in front of it. Yeah, so these are the little things that make Ripple okay, because I've seen these coaxial cables break. But whenever you meet resistance, take a moment and critically look at your patient and what's happening. And then we are just closing it up. I'll do for you the final test. Sorry that we've reached the 18th minute, but ideally we should have finished this task within 15 minutes. That helps you, as I said earlier on, approximate the time for the client when you take on the task. Probably they would want to first move around and return and pick it, or they would like to sit and wait for it, and that is helped by you knowing how long the task at hand takes. And that's why every now and then you should find methods that simplify your work, make your work move faster. In that way you will achieve this. Anyway, keep returning, keep watching, keep learning, and let's meet in the next video. Now I remain with the backmost cover. So when you're putting this back, okay, no, this guy's fingerprint really disconnected, so we need to reconnect it back. All right. How often do you use your fingerprint?
I use it.
Okay, so that is disconnected from the socket, so we need to re-establish it. But before we go there, let's first change the test the charging system once more that we have closed. Right, so we plug in the charging icon, and then we get our Thunderbolt. So I'm going to give it some 5 minutes to gain some charge and then resume the video. Alright, so 5 minutes were feeling a little long, so I've not waited for all of that. And you notice that we are now 2%, so we can do the final things and then get out of here. See you in the next video.